Come on. Broomfield, Arvada, Lakewood. 3 different cities that people come to compare all the time. They say, hey Nick, these are different cities, different price points, different vibes, and well, I'm gonna break down all 3 of these in an honest way with real 2026 numbers. And the truth is, they all win in different areas. They all fall short in different areas when we start comparing them to each other. And price points are actually a lot tighter between these 3 than most people think. Most people try and skip 1 or 2 of these, and I'm gonna tell you the honest truth about all 3. We're gonna jump right into it. My name's Nick Ahrens. Here's some quick context right before we dive into things. So Broomfield is halfway kind of between Denver and Boulder. The population of Broomfield is about 76,000 people. Arvada is northwest of Denver with a population of 124,000. Lakewood is the largest city of them, which backs right up to the foothills with a population of 156,000. So you have a smaller, newer city, a mid-sized, very well-established city, and a bigger city that backs right up to the foothills. So that alone tells you a lot. First, prices. A lot of people assume that Broomfield has the most expensive homes of all 3 cities. And while the median home prices in all 3 cities are a lot closer than most people think. In 2026, Broomfield median home price is around $650,000. Lakewood is around $585,000, and Arvada is in the middle at around $635,000. Now, the spread between all 3 of those is only $62,000, so not a huge substantial change there. However, the top end of all 3 cities, Broomfield's likely to be the most expensive, where a lot of the newer homes in Anthem, Highlands, and the Reserve and Baseline are actually in that $1.8 million range to about that $2.7 to $2.8 million range. So there is a big difference once we get to that higher end of homes there. So Lakewood usually has the cheapest single family entry, then Arvada, then Broomfield. So if you want the most square footage per dollar in new construction, you're likely going to be looking at Broomfield. However, if you want the most lifestyle per dollar of existing construction, you're most likely going to be considering Lakewood. Now, property taxes. Base Colorado effective property tax rates are very similar across all 3 at about 0.5%. Now, that's the headline that people see. The real difference is going to be in the Metro District taxes, which you're going to find in the newer master planned communities, typically built from 2005 and newer. Meaning in Broomfield's newer master planned communities like Anthem and Baseline, you're going to find an additional Metro tax, additional mill levies layered on top of the base tax rate to pay for the infrastructure, the schools, the police systems, all of those things. So the all-in tax bill on a $900,000 home in Anthem runs meaningfully higher, almost double in certain times, and then the exact same $900,000 home in Lakewood or Arvada. Now, whether that's worth it depends on your family, your lifestyle, and what you get for it. For some people it is, for some people it's not. If you want newer construction, amenities, phenomenal schools, well, you're going to likely get that in that northern pocket of Broomfield and some of the other master planned communities that have the additional tax rates. Now, Arvada and Lakewood have far fewer Metro District neighborhoods, so the math is a lot simpler and typically lower from a property tax standpoint. Schools. Now, this is where Broomfield starts to separate itself from the pack. Broomfield is the most consistent of all 3 for school quality. Anthem, Highlands, and Baseline feed into schools that are phenomenal for elementary and middle school, and they have 2 very high-rated high school options, one in the Adams 12 School District and one in the Boulder Valley School District. Arvada is a little bit of a mixed bag for a couple of different reasons. If you're in the newer north and newer west sides, you're most likely going to have great schools assigned to those specific communities. However, Arvada is split into 2 different counties, which is a little strange because the Jefferson County side of Arvada does have school of choice. Lakewood assigned schools are going to be the lowest on average of all 3 as per greatschools.org. However, Lakewood is also school of choice. So if you're looking for different schools, your best bet is most likely going to be in Broomfield. Then it's pockets of Arvada, then it's Lakewood after that. However, there are strong areas of Lakewood and Arvada that do have some great assigned local schools. Now, commutes. This is where it totally flips from what we just talked about. And first, we're going to look at commute times to downtown Denver. So Lakewood and Arvada both are typically going to run about 15 to 25 minutes, depending on if you get a little bit of traffic or not, to be able to get from most of those cities to downtown Denver. From Broomfield to downtown Denver is typically going to be 25 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on where you're at and traffic, depending on what time you're coming and going. Now, if we're going to Boulder, it's going to be the exact opposite of that. Broomfield is going to be the clear winner if you are commuting to Boulder, and most of the city is going to be between 15 and a 20-minute drive to be able to get to downtown Boulder. Most of Lakewood and most of Arvada are going to be in that 30 to 45-minute range in order to commute up to Boulder and back. Lifestyle. Now, this is where all three cities are completely different from each other. Broomfield is going to feel like a master planned area. Every community is going to have that master planned type of feel to it, whether it was built in the 80s or 90s or in the 2000s. It has a lot of ties to the Boulder culture and its true suburban living. A lot of the city does have some mountain views, but it does not have a true downtown to it. Now, when we get into Arvada, it feels like an established small city kind of version, suburban version of Denver in a smaller area. It has a true Olde Town as a downtown that's very walkable. Has all kinds of fun restaurants, breweries, shops. It has the light rail G line, which gets you straight to downtown Denver. And it's going to have a mix of decades-old homes and brand new neighborhoods that are all developed in the same city. Lakewood is going to be the most varied. Belmar is going to be the town center. Red Rocks Amphitheater is about 20 minutes away from most of the city, or if you're on the west side in Green Mountain, you've just got beautiful backdrop of the mountains, and it's going to be about a 5-minute drive out to Red Rocks Amphitheater. Those beautiful foothills and that whole front range is going to be a backdrop every single day in the city of Lakewood. None of these is better, they're just different products. Now, here's what I tell home buyers to start considering about different areas to skip and different areas to look at. I'm going to tell most home buyers to skip a lot of Broomfield if you do not want any sort of homeowners association and you don't want that master planned kind of feel to it. There are some exceptions within the city, but a lot of it does have that feel. Now, I'm going to tell people to skip Arvada if they need top-tier schools across the board and absolutely do not want that school choice into different areas there. I'm going to tell a buyer to skip Lakewood if school quality is absolutely non-negotiable because they're not willing to drive very far to get to those top-rated schools. Now, each city on this list is not going to be the right answer for every single home buyer. The biggest mistake that I find people make is buying based on the city that you've heard the most about instead of buying in the city that actually fits the lifestyle and is going to create the experiences that you want to have here. So how do you pick, right? Whether it's these three cities, Lakewood, Arvada, Broomfield, or other cities in the area, Superior, Lafayette, Westminster, Thornton, Boulder, wherever that might be. Well, first, rank different things that are important to you, right? Lifestyle, commute, schools, access to things, all those, rank those in order of importance, then reverse engineer, okay, let's look in these different cities. After that, let's start to look at homes in different communities that match all of those things best we possibly can for you. A lot of home buyers actually do this backwards. They fall in love with the home and then just sort of hope that it falls in line with everything else that they'd like to experience. So if you have questions in more depth or anything else around these concepts, comparing different cities, different neighborhoods, whether I put them in this video or not, let me know. Back in the bio, I've got my personal cell phone number, so text or call me or shoot me an email. Now, if you've seen this far, you have to like this video. You have to give me a thumbs up. You have to like it. It helps me so much. Thank you for that in advance.